Let's be real. In a world where words are cheap and attention spans are shorter than ever, figuring out whether a man truly loves you can feel impossible. He might text you good morning, compliment you, or say all the right things, but deep down you're wondering, does he actually mean it? Here's the truth. Most people never tell you when a man is madly in love. He doesn't just tell you. He shows you. And not once, not twice, but consistently. His actions repeat themselves naturally and effortlessly because love isn't a performance for him. It's instinct. Today, we're peeling back the layers of male behavior to reveal something powerful, a subtle pattern that, if he does it more than once, proves his feelings are real. No games, no confusion, just genuine love expressed in a way you might have missed. Think about it, the way he looks at you when you're not watching, the small things he remembers without being reminded, the way he protects your peace without needing praise. Those are not random moments, they're emotional blueprints. By the end of this video, you'll know how to spot the difference between a man who's temporarily interested and one who's emotionally all in. Because when he does this more than once, it's not coincidence. It's love in its purest, most unspoken form. So stay tuned, because what you're about to discover could completely change the way you see love and maybe help you recognize the one who's already showing it to you. When we talk about love, we often focus on the big gestures, the surprise dates, the passionate words, the Instagram-worthy moments. But real love isn't built on grand displays. It's found in what a person does again and again without being asked. That's where the psychology of repetition comes in. Human beings are creatures of habit, and love magnifies that truth. When someone truly cares about you, their subconscious begins to prioritize you. They think about your comfort, your needs, your feelings, not once in a while, but as part of their natural rhythm. They don't have to plan it or force it. It just happens. For a man deeply in love, repetition becomes his love language. The consistency in his actions, the way he checks in on you, supports your goals, or shows up when you need him, reveals more about his heart than any single romantic gesture ever could. These repeated actions are emotional signatures, evidence that you occupy space in his thoughts every day. Here's where psychology makes it even more fascinating. The human brain seeks emotional reward. When a man feels genuine affection, doing something kind or loving toward you activates the same pleasure centers that light up with success or happiness. That's why he wants to repeat it. Love literally rewires his behavior, creating emotional loops that keep bringing him back to you. On the other hand, when someone's interest is surface level, their actions are inconsistent. They might do something sweet once, then disappear for days. That's not love, that's impulse. True affection thrives on repetition because it's rooted in emotional security, not fleeting excitement. So the next time you notice him doing something thoughtful, and then doing it again, pay attention. That's not just routine, it's devotion in motion. Repetition in love isn't boring. It's the brain's way of saying, this person matters, this feels right. Because in the end, love doesn't prove itself in moments, it proves itself in patterns. And when those patterns repeat, that's when you know, he's not just interested, he's invested. We've all heard the saying, actions speak louder than words. But when it comes to love, that saying takes on a whole new meaning. Because anyone can say I love you. It's easy, it's quick, and it sounds good. But not everyone can show love through their choices, especially when it's inconvenient, uncomfortable, or unplanned. That's where the truth lies. Not in what he tells you, but in what he does when nobody's watching. Words are powerful. Yes, they can comfort you, excite you, make you feel seen, but they're also temporary. They exist in a moment. Actions, on the other hand, are memories that stay with you. Think about it. The way he shows up when you're stressed. The way he notices your silence before you even say a word. The way he remembers your favorite coffee order without needing a reminder. Those aren't rehearsed performances. Those are reflections of emotional awareness. When a man's actions align with his words, that's integrity. That's love built on truth. But when his words promise one thing and his behavior shows another, that's confusion disguised as affection. Love is consistency. Love is reliability. Love is choosing you, not just when it's easy, but especially when it's not. Psychologically, actions are the purest form of communication. They bypass filters and reveal the emotional core. When he makes time for you, even when his day is packed, that's him saying you matter. When he listens without interrupting, when he protects your peace, when he apologizes without deflecting, those are unspoken declarations of love, far louder than any I love you could ever be. And here's the thing most people overlook. Words can be influenced by ego. Sometimes people say what they want to feel, not what they actually do feel. Actions, though, are honest. They require effort. They take time. They're proof that love is not just an emotion. It's a decision, one he keeps making every day. A man who truly loves you won't need to convince you with promises. You'll feel it in the small, consistent things. The way he checks if you got home safely. The way he stands beside you in uncomfortable moments. The way he tries to understand your world, instead of just being in it. Love that's real doesn't need to be advertised. It's quietly proven. So when you're wondering how he feels, don't get lost in his words. Watch his patterns. Notice what he does without thinking about it. Because love that lasts isn't just spoken, it's practiced, over and over again. In the end, the loudest I love you isn't said with words. It's whispered through actions, repeated through time, and felt through consistency. That's when you'll know. His heart isn't just talking, it's showing. There's a reason I call this the more than once rule. It's one of the simplest yet most powerful indicators of genuine love. Anyone can do something thoughtful. Once, buy you flowers, send a sweet text, plan a date. But doing it again, without a reminder, without a reason, without an audience, that's when you start to see something real taking shape. Because love isn't about the moment, it's about the pattern. When someone truly loves you, their caring behavior becomes a habit, not a highlight. They don't do nice things to impress you. They do them because they can't help it. It's part of how they connect, how they express emotion, how they keep you close. The more than once rule is about consistency revealing intention. When a man repeats certain actions, checking on you after a long day, remembering the little things you tell him, showing up when you least expect it, but most need it, it's not coincidence. It's emotional commitment showing itself through repetition. Psychologically, repetition in affection is tied to emotional security. When someone feels safe and genuinely connected, they naturally seek to maintain that connection through repeated gestures. It's a subconscious loop. Care leads to closeness. Closeness leads to more care. So when he does something kind more than once, it's not just behavior, it's attachment in motion. Now let's flip the perspective for a second. When someone only does something once, they compliment you one time, they help you one time, they surprise you one time. It might just be impulse, attraction, interest, but love lives in the follow-through. It's in doing what they said they'd do, and doing it again because it matters to them. The more than once rule also protects you from emotional confusion. It helps you separate temporary attention from genuine affection. Because someone who's infatuated may impress you once, someone who's in love will invest in you repeatedly. Think about the last time he went out of his way for you, not because he wanted something, but because he cared. Did he do it again? Did he keep showing up even when things weren't exciting or easy? That's your answer. That's the rule in action. When he does something beautiful once, it's sweet. When he does it again, it's intention. When he keeps doing it, through ups, downs, silence and distance, that's love. Not the loud, performative kind, but the quiet, enduring kind that builds trust and safety. So pay attention to the more than once moments. They may seem small, almost ordinary, but that's the secret. Love doesn't need to announce itself. It just repeats until you finally realize he's not just saying it, he's living it. Emotional attachment. It's one of the clearest signs that a man's feelings go far beyond surface level attraction. When he's emotionally attached to you, it's no longer just about chemistry or convenience. It's about connection, a deep, steady bond that shapes how he thinks, feels, and acts around you. You'll start to notice it in the smallest, most unexpected ways. For example, when something good happens to him, maybe he gets exciting news or accomplishes a goal, you're the first person he wants to tell. You've become his emotional home base. He wants to share his happiness with you because your reaction matters to him. That's attachment. You'll also see it in how he reacts when you're not okay. He doesn't just listen, he feels with you. When you're stressed, he tries to help you solve it. When you're sad, he doesn't rush to fix it. He sits in the moment with you. That kind of empathy doesn't come from interest. It comes from emotional investment. He feels your energy because your peace affects his. Another powerful sign is consistency in communication. When a man is emotionally attached, he doesn't go days without reaching out. Even when life gets busy, he finds little ways to stay connected. A quick text, a call, a meme that made him think of you. It's not about obligation. It's about wanting to maintain closeness. No matter how small the gesture. Pay attention to how he remembers the details. Not the obvious things, but the ones you said in passing. The childhood memory you mentioned once, the song you liked, the story you told about your favorite place. When he brings those things up later, it means he listens because he cares, not just because he's trying to impress you. His memory becomes proof of his emotional depth. There's also a shift in how he handles conflict. An emotionally attached man doesn't walk away when things get difficult. He might get frustrated, sure, but his instinct is to fix, not to flee. He values the connection enough to work through discomfort, because losing it feels heavier than winning an argument. And maybe the most subtle sign, he starts letting you see the sides of him no one else does. The quiet insecurities, the fears, the things he hides from the world. Emotional attachment opens that door. He feels safe enough to be real with you, not perfect. When you notice these things, his presence, his consistency, his vulnerability, know this, he's not just spending time with you, he's emotionally anchoring himself to you. That's not something he does lightly. It's something that happens when his heart recognizes yours as a place it wants to stay. Because love can be said once, affection can be shown twice, but emotional attachment, that's lived every day, through every look, every word, and every quiet moment he chooses to share with you. Sometimes love doesn't arrive with grand declarations or dramatic moments. It whispers through the smallest, most ordinary gestures, the kind you might overlook if you're not paying attention. Because real love isn't always loud. It lives quietly in the details, in the effort, and in the little things that reveal big feelings. Think about the way he notices when you're cold and instinctively offers his jacket. He doesn't ask, he just does it. That's not about chivalry, it's about care. His mind is tuned to your comfort, and that awareness comes from emotional connection. Or maybe he texts you, not to start a conversation, but just to say, "Did you eat?" That's not small talk, that's affection disguised as concern. Love shows up in the rhythm of everyday life. When he pays attention to how you take your coffee, the way you like your space organized, or the songs you play when you're in your feelings, those are all love notes written without words. Each time he remembers, he's telling you, "I see you, I'm paying attention." Small gestures matter because they're not about performance. They're instinctive. They're not driven by what he thinks will impress you. They come from what he feels. The way he looks at you when you're not looking. The way he slows down his pace to walk beside you. The way he subtly mirrors your body language because he's emotionally in sync with you. These are signs his heart is quietly aligning with yours. Psychologically, these micro moments build emotional intimacy. Our brains register consistency and care as signals of safety. When he does something thoughtful, even minor, your body feels it before your mind does, that warm, safe feeling that says, "I can trust this." And when he repeats those gestures, that trust deepens into love. What's beautiful about small gestures is that they're deeply personal. A man might not always say the perfect thing, but he'll do the thing that makes your day easier. He might drive across town just to see you for 10 minutes. He might remember a tough deadline and send a simple "you've got this." He might give you his undivided attention when you're venting, not trying to fix everything, just listening. Those are the quiet acts that reveal enormous emotion. It's easy to chase the grand gestures, the flowers, the big surprises, the movie-style moments. But love that lasts often hides in the simple ones, the text, the touch, the look. Because when he keeps showing you through those small actions that he cares, more than once, more than words, that's when you know his feelings aren't fleeting. They're real. So next time he does something small that makes you feel seen or safe, pause and take it in. That's not just kindness. That's love speaking softly but clearly, "I'm here, I care, and I mean it." One of the biggest misunderstandings in relationships comes from expecting men to show love the same way women do. But the truth is, men often express love differently. It's not because they care less. It's because the way they're conditioned to feel and communicate affection is often quieter, more action-based, and sometimes misunderstood. While women often connect through emotional expression, through words, affection, and deep conversation, many men are raised to show love through doing. For them, love is often an act of service, protection, and presence. A man may not always say, "I love you" outright, but he'll make sure your car has gas. He'll check that you got home safely. He'll fix things before you even realize they're broken. That's not avoidance. That's how he says, "I care." In psychology, this is tied to something called instrumental affection, love communicated through action rather than emotion. For many men, words can feel vulnerable, even uncomfortable. So instead, they express love by showing up. When he takes responsibility, remembers your needs, or supports your ambitions quietly in the background, those are his ways of saying, "You matter to me." Another subtle difference is in emotional timing. A man might not always share his feelings right away, but that doesn't mean he isn't feeling deeply. It just means he processes emotion through reflection rather than conversation. Sometimes the man who seems calm or reserved is actually the one who's feeling the most. His love isn't in the talking, it's in the steady consistency. Pay attention to how he prioritizes you. A man who's in love rearranges his schedule to make time for you. He may not announce it, but you'll feel it in his actions, in the way he includes you in his world, introduces you to people who matter, or seeks your opinion on things he values. That's emotional inclusion, one of the strongest indicators of love. Even small acts, like carrying your bag, noticing when you're overwhelmed, or quietly taking care of something you mentioned in passing, are huge emotional signals. These are not random gestures. They're his way of creating emotional safety for you, even if he doesn't label it that way. When you start to see love through this lens, you realize it's not about how often he says it, but how often he shows it. Men express love through reliability, protection, patience, and effort. They might not say "you're my world" every day, but they'll build a world where you feel protected and valued. So if you've ever wondered whether he truly loves you, don't just listen to his words. Look at his actions, his consistency, his quiet habits. Because while women often speak love, men often do love. And those actions, repeated over time, are love in its most honest form. When it's true love, something feels different. Not louder, not flashier, but deeper. It's calm, consistent, and real. It doesn't rush to impress, and it doesn't fade when things get hard. True love isn't about constant butterflies. It's about peace, the kind that comes from knowing you're loved, seen, and safe right where you are. One of the first key indicators of true love is emotional safety. When you can be your most honest, unfiltered self, messy, tired, vulnerable, and he doesn't pull away, that's real love. He doesn't make you feel like you have to perform to be loved. Instead, he makes you feel accepted, even in your quietest, most unpolished moments. That's not chemistry, that's connection. Another sign is consistency. Love that's true doesn't appear when it's convenient and vanish when it's not. It shows up on the good days, the bad days, and the ordinary ones in between. He keeps choosing you, not because it's exciting every time, but because it means something to him. You don't have to chase reassurance because his behavior speaks for itself. True love also involves emotional growth, not perfection, but effort. He listens, learns, and adjusts. He doesn't just want to make you happy, he wants to understand you. When conflicts happen, and they will, he doesn't use them as reasons to withdraw. Instead, he uses them as chances to strengthen the bond. He's not afraid to say, "I was wrong," because his ego matters less than your connection. You'll notice it in how he invests in your dreams. A man truly in love doesn't compete with your goals. He supports them. He celebrates your wins, encourages your growth, and takes pride in your success as if it were his own. That's love without fear or control. And maybe one of the most powerful signs, time reveals more, not less. Infatuation fades when life gets real, but true love deepens. You see new layers of kindness, patience, and loyalty. The excitement may soften, but it's replaced by something far more valuable: stability. That steady heartbeat of knowing, "I'm loved and I'm not going anywhere." True love doesn't just look like passion, it feels like peace. It's when he remembers the small things, protects your heart, and still reaches for your hand after a disagreement. It's when he makes space for you, not out of obligation, but out of genuine care. So if you're wondering whether it's real, look for the quiet patterns, the way he stays, the way he listens, the way he keeps choosing you. Because when it's true love, it doesn't have to shout to be heard. It simply keeps showing up over and over again. As we come to the end of this video, I want you to take a deep breath and really let everything we've talked about sink in. Would the love, real healthy love, isn't a guessing game. It doesn't leave you anxious, wondering, or chasing clarity. It's not about constant intensity. It's about consistent intention. When a man is truly in love, you won't have to decode mixed signals. His actions, his presence, and his energy will all align to show you that you matter. Here's something most people overlook. Love isn't found in perfection. It's found in effort. You're not looking for someone who never gets it wrong. You're looking for someone who keeps trying to get it right. A man who's genuinely in love will make mistakes, sure, but he'll also take accountability, communicate, and keep choosing growth over pride. That's what turns connection into commitment. If you remember one thing from this video, let it be this: consistency is love's truest language. The words, the gifts, the moments, they matter. But what really counts is repetition. The small acts done more than once. The patterns that say, "You can rely on me." That's how you tell if his heart is truly in it. Now let's talk about what you can do to build and nurture that kind of love. First, communicate clearly, but also listen deeply. When you express your needs with grace instead of fear, you create emotional safety. And when you listen without judgment, you show him it's safe to be vulnerable with you too. Love thrives in that kind of environment. Open, honest, and patient. Second, match his consistency. Real relationships are partnerships, not tests. When you both bring reliability, affection, and presence to the table, that's when love becomes unbreakable. Be intentional about showing appreciation. When he does something thoughtful, acknowledge it. Gratitude turns simple actions into deeper emotional habits. And finally, don't confuse intensity with authenticity. Some connections burn fast, but fade quickly. True love takes time to build. It grows slowly, quietly, and deeply. Through repetition, through understanding, through showing up on the days when it's not easy or exciting. If he does something loving more than once, if his patterns prove his heart, believe it, trust consistency more than words. Because love isn't about what happens once, it's about what keeps happening. And if you're still waiting for that kind of love, don't rush it. The right person will not make you question your worth. They'll confirm it through their actions, over and over again. So stay open, stay patient, and most importantly, stay true to yourself. Because when love is real, it doesn't just say "I love you." It shows it again and again without needing to be asked. As we wrap up, let's talk about what you can do next. Love is not just something that happens to you, it's something you notice, understand, and nurture. By now you've learned the importance of the more than once rule, how actions speak louder than words, and the subtle ways men show love differently. These aren't just theories, they're practical tools you can use to evaluate your relationships and recognize genuine affection. The first step is observation. Pay attention to patterns over time. Notice if he consistently shows up for you, remembers what matters to you, and makes an effort without being asked. This is how love reveals itself, quietly but unmistakably. Don't get distracted by grand gestures that happen once. True love is steady, intentional, and repeated. Next, trust your instincts. If his actions align with what we discussed and you feel safe, valued, and cared for, allow yourself to embrace that love. Emotional attachment isn't about rushing. It's about recognizing and appreciating the consistency in someone's heart. And finally, communicate. Share your thoughts and feelings openly, and let him know what matters to you. A healthy relationship grows through transparency, mutual effort, and appreciation. When both of you invest in nurturing love, it becomes stronger and more resilient. So take a moment today to reflect. Notice the small gestures, patterns, and repeated actions that signal his love. Celebrate them, respond to them, and let them guide you. Remember, love isn't just said, it's shown. And when you recognize that, you're no longer guessing, you're seeing the truth in action. Stay mindful, stay open, and keep noticing. Your heart deserves love that repeats itself over and over without question.